Let me share my screen so that we can. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, Sa, Gam, Udastat, Salilasya, Gochari, Vinyasya. Charo? Can you take it out? Okay. Tasyam, Adadat, Swa, Satvam, Avishtutah, Vishwasraja, Prasunaihi, Apuryamanah, Vibudaihi, Pashyatah, Arehe. Okay. Sagamudastat Salilasya Gochare, Vinasyatasya Madadhatsva Sattvam, Abhishtuto Vishwasraja Prashunair, Apurimano Vibudai Pashyatore. Please repeat.
Sagam udastat salilasya gochare vinyasya tasyam adadhat swasatvam abhishtito vishvasrija prasuner apuryamano vibudai pashyatore.
Sagamudastat salilasya gochare Vinyasya tasyam adadhat swasatvam Abhishtuto vishwasrija prasunaye Apuryamano vibudhai pashyatore.
Okay, so sorry. The Lord, okay. Saha, the Lord. Gam, the earth. With the start on the surface. Salilasya, of the water. Gochari, within his sight. Vinyasya, having placed. Tasyam, to the earth. Adadhat, invested. Swa, his own. Sattvam, existence. Abhishtutah, raised. Vishvasraja, by Brahma, the creator of the universe. Prashunehi, by flowers. Apuryamanah, becoming satisfied. Vibudaihi, by the demigods. Pashyatah, while looking on. Areha, the enemy. Translation and report by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Lord placed the earth within his sight on the surface of the water and transferred her to his own energy in the form of ability to float on the water. While the enemy stood looking on, Brahma, the creator of the universe, exalted the Lord, and the other demigods rained flowers on him. Purport: Those who are demons cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead floated the earth on water. But the devotees of the Lord, but to the devotees of the Lord, this is not a very wonderful act. Not only the earth, but many millions of planets are floating in the air, and this floating power is endowed upon them by the Lord. There is no possible other explanation. The materialists can explain the planets are floating by the law of gravitation, but the law of gravitation works under the control or direction of the Supreme Lord. That is the version of Bhagavad Gita, which confirms by Lord's statement that behind the material laws are natural laws, and behind the growth, maintenance, production, and evolution of all the planetary systems, behind everything is the Lord's direction. The Lord's activities could be appreciated only by the demigods headed by Brahma, and therefore, when they saw the uncommon prowess of the Lord in keeping the earth on the surface of the earth, of the water, they showered flowers on him in the appreciation of his transcendental activity. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shrivatapatakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savritam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Jakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavanda Jagatu Gopisha Gupika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchina Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanusate Devi Pranamami Vibhya Vanchakalpatarvesha Kripasindevyavacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnabhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtavatara Shrimate Bhakti Vikas Swamitine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtavatara Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamitine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharni Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaur Bhaktivindam Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jnananandamayam Devanasmriti Kagat Mataram Sarva Vidyana Mahi Guru Mupasmai Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinir Smaranavai Vindu Vinashana Nam Shaheni Javanchita Puran Om Namah Shivaya Dharnidharanayan Swaha. So today is the appearance day of Lord Varahadev, and actually the whole pastime of Lord Varahadev, as we're going through the Bhagavatam now, we're actually in the canto in which Lord Varahadev comes into the picture here, or into the Srimad Bhagavatam, as we are discussing Jai and Vijay's pastimes, and it is all a prelude to the Lord coming and manifesting his beautiful pastime as Lord Varaha and Lord Nrsimha. And so Lord Nrsimha, we see that a little bit later, but we'll see Lord Varaha's pastimes immediately as we're going to continue with this section of the Bhagavatam here. And so this specific verse, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes on how the demons cannot understand the Achintya Shakti of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Inconceivable. You cannot understand it. How this whole material world is going on. These planets are floating in the sky. The earth is floating in the sky. The earth is moving about. There's sunshine, there's moon, there's air, there's rain, and it all happens in its perfect course. And it allows the living entities to exist within this earth just perfectly. Everything is just set up so perfectly. Even the scientists understand that. Although they deny the existence of the Lord, they can understand that even if the mass of the atom was off by 1 to the power of negative 24, I believe, which is 0.0024 times, and then 1 at the end of that, even if it was off by that much, none of this would have existed. You wouldn't exist, I wouldn't exist, the material nature wouldn't exist, the way nature functions wouldn't exist. And if you're a biologist or someone who does a lot of research in the field of how nature works, you'll see how perfectly everything is functioning. How the bee is taking nectar from the flower, and the flower pollinates through the bee. The flower touches the back of the bee, and it pollinates, and then it transfers it to another flower, and in that way the flower is able to reproduce. It's kind of crazy when you really look into it, how perfectly the system is going on. And so the scientists, the unscrupulous men, they're not able to understand that demons cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead floated the water, earth on water, but to the devotees of the Lord, this is not a very wonderful act. It is wonderful, but at the same time, why isn't it not wonderful? Srila Prabhupada is saying in the sense here that, well, it's not something unbelievable. It's not something that the devotees are going to say, oh, that didn't happen. Where's the demons go? How is that possible? Whereas the devotees don't doubt it. Yes, Keshavatu Jagata Vichitra, oh my dear Lord, the creation of yours is very wonderful. It's very beautiful. It's just very, it's inconceivable to understand. So the devotees of the Lord understand that the Lord can do inconceivable things, whereas the materialists, they limit what to speak about, even them understanding the Lord. They limit everything to their conception of life, like Srila Prabhupada mentions, like a frog in a well. He can't see beyond his well, that, oh, there's nothing bigger than my well. How can there be a big ocean as far and wide as you can see? And it cannot be possible, this frog in the well says. So the scientists of Srila Prabhupada would often compare them to frogs in the well, that they think that they can only, how can you these scientists can't float. It takes such a struggle for them to float a ship in the ocean, and that's a big heavy thing. They have to manufacture it, engineer it. It takes so long, and it's a lot of research to have a thing that floats properly like that. And and then and then when they don't engineer it properly, and then they get a little accident like the Titanic, it all sinks. But the Lord, through his Achintya Shakti, through his potency, through his, as is mentioned here, that the Supreme Personality got it, he just, within his sight, placed the earth within his sight on the surface of the world and transferred to her his own energy in the form of ability to float on the water. So the Lord gave the earth, Mother Bhumi, to float on the water. He imbued that potency upon Bhu, there's Shri and Bhu. Bhu is the earth and the consort of the Lord, ability to float on water. And it is shocking to most that when they read this pastime, how is that possible? Well, what was going on was, obviously, first of all, I think before we even get to the fact that even the Lord floated the earth and water, the fact that the Lord is a pig, a boar, that's come to fight. And how has he come out? Well, most people are born out of wombs and different things like wombs or eggs or things like that. But generally, also a pig is just born out of a womb. But here we see Lord Varaha just appear out of the nostril of Lord Brahma. It's okay. That's quite an appearance that Lord Varaha makes. You can see that actually, the Lord makes. He likes to appear in very extravagance, with a lot of shock to others, you could say. Like you see the similarity here between Lord Nrsingadev and Lord Varahadev. Lord Varaha just appears out of the nostril of Lord Brahma. It's surprising. And then Lord Nrsingadev, he appears out of the pillar. Both extremely, like, not anything expected. So the Lord likes to make a nice entrance. He likes to shock people. At least Prabhupada is commenting here. The devotees of the Lord don't think it's very wonderful. Or it's not that they don't think it's very wonderful. It's not a very wonderful act. As Prahlad, he already knew. It's like, is your God in the pillar? Yes. And then when the Lord appeared, Prahlad, it's not a shock to him. Yeah, okay, yeah, of course the Lord is there. So the devotees of the Lord, they have a full conception, full understanding that the Lord, it cannot be put into a box of how much our mind can conceive of, into this box of our own materialistic vision, or whatever vision we may have. Well, the pure devotees of the Lord, they don't have that vision, but the Lord can do something that is so wonderful that it cannot be conceived of, and they're not surprised by it because yeah, that's the Lord's inconceivable potency. He can appear and do whatever he likes. Whereas the demons, they cannot understand. They do not believe or they do not understand. But whether they believe or not, that doesn't matter. Because we see here that where that Hiranyaksha believed or not, he got slapped by Varaha, just one slap. And it's translated into his, one of my favorite paintings is of Lord Varaha holding the mace and ready to strike upon Hiranyaksha. And so we can see Hiranyaksha, he throws all these nasty things to the Lord. He does all these nasty things to the Lord. And he also says a lot of nasty things to the Lord. But independent of what he says or what he does, that doesn't change the position of the Supreme Personality Godhead. The Supreme Personality Godhead is always the Supreme Personality Godhead. And Prabhupada said here that it's not such a wonderful thing because the devotees also see that not only the earth, but many millions of planets are floating in the air, and this floating clouds endowed upon them by the Lord. There's no other possible explanation. That they're already there. It's already happening. We see that we're all these planetary systems. They're just floating about. And the scientists' understanding of that and calculation and according to all of these things is that it is a gravitational pull that is holding everything up. Well, what is that gravitational pull? How is that gravitational pull happening? Well, the circulation of the planets. And then they say, well, okay, this universe, or you could say even this planetary system is, okay, it's rotating, but what is that sitting on? Because there's the planetary systems, and within each universe, there's a planetary system. So within this universe, what is that universe being held up by? Why isn't it just, dropping? Or what is going on? Well, they say there's many universes within a galaxy that are rotating about each other. And then, what are those galaxies resting upon? Many other galaxies in which they are rotating upon. So it's a lot of speculation. And then technically they should also be able to show that by their own method of testing. And they can create a vacuum and try to float something and this and that. But actually you'll see in a vacuum, what happens? It just falls. So, and even if you say, okay, it's a rotational pull that's keeping, so what's rotating it? What is rotating? What is rotating? Like, okay, if it's rotating, how is it rotating? How is it that it's come into motion? How do you explain that? What is this Einstein's theory? Is that that an object, it can only move once there is external force applied to it. Otherwise, it does not move, especially in a vacuum. In a vacuum, an object cannot move unless there's force applied. And once that force is applied, then it continues continuously. It doesn't stop because there's no friction in space. So we see that the planets are going on, but what moved them? Who moved them? And instead of what moved them, who moved them? But they don't ask the question who, because their initial conclusion from the beginning is that there is no who, there is no person, there is no personality, because it's all material. There must have been what. So then they say, well, this singularity of that there was a point, infinitesimally small point that exploded. And so that was what it was. But it's a stupid argument and a stupid conclusion, actually. Even a child can understand that that is not the case. So the Lord has initiated as Mahavishnu, all the pores, from all his pores of the galaxies and the universes are coming out, and he's maintaining them all. He actually holds up the whole universe. And it's not a struggle for him. It's just like Srila Prabhupada would often criticize this Atlas. Is that right? Atlas? He's struggling to hold up just the earth by itself. But Lord Varaha, he just simply picks it up. It's not a struggle for him. With his tusk, he just picks it up. And then he places it on the thing. He doesn't even have to pick it up. He's just doing it for the sake of his own pleasure. But he can just have his own, his energy can just lift it up. He doesn't even have to do it. So to conceive of God as some limited being that is struggling to keep everything going together is a foolish idea. And what's really awesome, I was reading yesterday, one of the best advices, just to side point, that I heard from Mukunda Datta Prabhu yesterday, in those classes that he gave in the Vyasa Puja. He said, how do you read Srila Prabhupada's books? He said, you should read Srila Prabhupada's books slowly, carefully. And how do you do that? You read out loud, and after every sentence, you pause and you think about what just happened and then move on. He said, don't just read, because there's a lot of valuable things in these books that you're just missing. And I was trying to, follow his instructions yesterday, and whoa, you can remember like the couple of pages that you read pretty clearly, and you can go through the points in your head. Oh, Srila Prabhupada saying this is, and now this is why he's saying this, and everything is so much more clear. Anyways, he was making the point in the beginning of the teachings of Lord Chaitanya that the Lord, for the surrendered devotee, he gives special care for them. He brings them up, specially he gives special care for them. And he was saying that the Lord, as Sir Dakshayi Vishnu, he's already holding up this whole universe, but that is indirectly. But for his devotee, he comes directly to come and pick them up, to come and lift them up. So we see here that his devotee, Bhu, she is praying to the Lord, and he's coming personally to pick her up out of this, out of this ocean, out of this, Hiranyaksha trying to, throw the earth into the partial devastation, into the water. And so it actually also is significant, because that is the position of the Lord. The Lord comes to pick up his devotees. We see in Vishnu Sahasranam, very nice names in which the Lord comes to pick us up. I'm forgetting it now, but there's very nice names. There's this array, there's a string of names that comes in Vishnu Sahasranam, in which it defines how the Lord is the protector of his devotees, and he comes to lift us up. He comes to bring us up. So, we see that the Lord comes to save the earth out of her condition in which she is, fallen down. And Bhakti Vikas Maharaj says that actually the Lord is always is actually is metaphorical even to us how we're also being lifted up by the Lord. That something is going on. What's going on? Let's see. Okay, so how the Lord is. So how the Lord is coming to lift us up, and he always does so. So we can depend upon the Lord. Whenever we fall, he picks us up. He's always picking us up. We're in the, Kali Yuga, the worst of all ages. But Lord Chaitanya, he's come as, as the most merciful, the incarnation of the Lord, in the mood of compassion, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, to pick us up out of this ocean of faults. So we see here that Varaha is also doing the same thing with his devotees. And actually Varaha, he comes many times. And every time he comes, he lifts the Lord up. There's actually, although here we're just seeing one, and we get hints of that there's two or so. And we especially, I think within this pastime, there's the ones appearing, the Chakshuja Manu and Swayambhu Manu. But here, we also, Bhakti Vikas Maharaj mentions that there's 5 kind of Varahas. There is the Varaha that appears out of Lord's, the Brahma's nostril and lifts the earth, and then he leaves. And then there's second, and then I believe he goes to the Swarga Lokas. And second one is that he kills Hiranyaksha. We're seeing this one here right now. And he saves the earth from partial devastation. And we also see Yajna Varaha, which he performs methods of sacrifice. And then he speaks Varaha Purana to the earth and leaves. And the 4th Varaha, he took the earth and made her even by grinding down the excessively large mountains with his sharp teeth. The earth then assumed the form of consort Varahi, enjoyed with him and gave birth to 2 sons. And then that Lord finally disappeared by merging into the form of Lord Nrsingadev. And the 5th Varaha, he perpetually holds up the earth from below. So Dharan Yudaranaya, that one who holds up this earth, actually, and I wanted to speak on Varaha today also because he's very close actually in our project. Actually, Lord Varaha played a significant role in lifting the earth and revealing to us this earth in which, where we're gonna make that Varnashram Dharma by which we can worship the Lord properly. So we were actually praying very much to Lord Varaha every day when we were in the process of purchasing this property, or in the process of looking to find a property. We were praying to Lord Varaha that he revealed to us this the earth, that piece, the part of the earth by which we can serve the Lord nicely. And in our meditations and our prayer to Lord Varaha, we saw a direct reciprocation of Lord Varaha, that he immediately, actually, it was surprising, and immediately revealed to us the most wonderful, the most beautiful place by which we can actually establish the proper worship of the Lord for generations to come. It's very beautiful. Every day we look at this place and we wonder how we got it. We wonder how it was possible. And even other people look at this and go, how do you get this? And often some people that have come and said, this is like the Yellowstone of the East. It's so beautiful. Just this morning, I was looking at the sunrise, and it's just like all of these, you got this smoky fog with pink, purple, blue sky, and I was just like, yeah, this is wonderful. How is it that this has happened? Well, it's the mercy of Lord Varahadev. He has revealed us this place. He has taken it away from the hands of the demons, actually, in which the demons, what were they using it for? Simply to kill living entities. And that was the purpose of this piece of land here. And we see that the demons, that's their purpose. Actually, we see here Hiranyaksha, he is a demon. And of course, the demons that are now there in this world are nothing compared to Hiranyaksha, but nonetheless, they perform the same acts. They plunder the earth. They dig into the earth. They pollute it. They pollute her. They just ravage it. They rape the earth. They kill all the living entities, mercilessly. That are present. We see the situation that is going on for what? For their own enjoyment, because of the aham mama bhava, ishvara bhava, that they want to aham bhogi, siddhoham balavam sukhi. They want to show that I am supreme. But such rascals, they don't know that actually they're tiny in comparison to the Lord's energy. That even the Lord's external energy can completely wipe them out. They perform so many sinful acts by killing so many living entities, and in return, they, what do they get? Natural disasters, fires, hurricanes, storms, and they cannot do anything about it. With all their weapons and with all the Ugra Karma things that they have invented, they cannot do anything. Mother Earth, she will run through and destroy everything, and they have no chance. And in that point, they still cannot realize there's so much illusion, mogasha moga karmano, that there's so much illusion, moga jnana vichetasaha, that their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Rakshasim asurim chay, what is it?
Rakshasim asurim chaiva, prakritim mohinim shuddha.
Is that so? Rakshasim asurim chaiva mohinim?
Prakritim mohinim shuddha.
Yeah, so that their knowledge is stolen by illusion. They're Rakshasas, they're demons. Even when they're defeated, they still cannot come to the level of understanding, oh, okay, maybe we're doing something wrong. No, it's just natural disaster. That's just how things are. No, it's not our fault at all. But the fact that everything is, the natural disasters are getting worse and this and that, by them killing the cow, them them polluting the oceans by releasing all this oil, throwing all this plastic into the earth, all of this nonsense that they're doing for their own sense gratification, they will have to suffer for that. So the Lord, or the Lord's energy, they try to make it clear to the demons that, hey, this is not your game. You're not going to win this one. But because they're demons, they cannot understand. Just like we have Jarasandha, he thought he could keep, although he was defeated so many times, he thought, no, next time I'm going to kill Krishna. And then, Krishna exhibited the pastime and said, yes, I defeated Krishna. So the demons are like that. They think they can conquer nature, but we see that they're always conquered actually. So the Lord, when He is merciful and the devotees are praying to the Lord grants them by which they can go on worshipping the Lord in a very conducive way. So Lord Varahadev, he has granted us a benediction by which we have taken this, earth back and given it to that person which it actually belongs to, so that we can expect all good things actually, that the Lord is personally guiding, and the Lord's hand is in this process of which we are trying to endeavor towards fulfilling the instruction of the Acharya. The Lord is directly helping us do that. So Prabhupada says here that the Lord, that is the version of Bhagavad Gita which confirms by Lord's statement that behind the material laws and nature's laws, and behind the growth, maintenance, production, and evolution of all planetary system, behind everything is Lord's direction. The Lord's activities could be appreciated by the demigods headed by Brahma, and therefore when they saw the uncommon powers of the Lord in keeping this earth on the surface of the water, they shout flowers on Him in appreciation of His transcendental activity. And the demons cannot understand that. Just like even demons now, they don't want the Lord to actually be present here. We're seeing so much backlash from, within the community and within the state or within the county that, oh, they shouldn't be here, leave, we don't like you here, such and such and such. Sometimes you may get that because they don't like to see that, oh yeah, they worship, Krishna, and that's the devil. So such rascals, such people, they cannot understand and appreciate the form of the Lord. They have no idea. They're covered by illusion. They actually become more envious when they see Krishna. And because the demons only think of two things, or specifically they only think of power. And what is that power? By that power, so they can enjoy. So they're seeing that they cannot enjoy this land anymore, that there is not for their enjoyment. They can't come and shoot, and that there's going to be devotees around and this and that, and they're disturbed by that. They're disturbed that there is some situation by which there is more godly activities going on. And so that is, they become more and more disturbed, especially they become envious of Krishna because they cannot see someone else enjoy more than them. That's the position of the demons. They don't want to see another enjoyer greater than them. They immediately become envious of someone who enjoys more than them. That is the pure characteristics of a demon. That's why we say in the spiritual world there is no envy. That is not allowed there. So, but the Lord is the supreme enjoyer, whether demons like it or not. And the Lord will, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, that He will simply kill them. That's all. So we can expect all victory. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanudhara. That wherever there is Tatrashi Bhujay Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matir Mama. That wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there is victory, opulence. And what are the other two? Victory, opulence.
Determination. No.
Yogeshwara Krishna Yatra Partha Dhanudhara. Tatrashi Vijay Bhutir Dhruvanitir Matir Mama.
Dhruva, like determination, something I don't remember.
Okay, victory. No, let me not read that one here. Okay. we see that there is, opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So Sanjay says that's how he finishes this Bhagavad Gita, that wherever there is Krishna, the mystic, the master of all mystics, and where there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion. So we can expect that although there's so much opposition and people will have so much opposition from within our own movement, from outside of our movement, but we can understand that if we keep Krishna as the supreme enjoyer in the center, then there will be opulence here, there will be victory here, there will be extraordinary power, and there will be morality. And people will not be able to understand. Even our own devotees may not be able to understand how this is so, because they do not see. Actually, we have not become enough purified to see how the Lord directly comes to lift us up. He comes to lift us when we are praying to the Lord, when we are trying to serve the Lord. And those who don't have faith, Shraddhavan Janahe Bhakti Adhikar. What's the other verse that's in the 9? I think it's 9:3. Ashraddhana. Yeah, I get. If I Ashraddhana. Okay. Purusha dharmasya parantapa aprapimam nivartante mrityu sangsara vartmani. Those who are not faithful in devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world. Ashraddha, those who do not have faith, that is the qualification. Shraddha what is this? Shraddhavan Bhakti Adhikar. That it is very clear that faith plays a great role. So we should have faith that the Lord is directly helping us. The Lord is always there. And Prabhupada writes there that the faithless cannot accomplish the process of devotional service. That is the purport of this verse. And how is that faith created? Faith is created by the association of devotees. So, and Prabhupada, this purport is very ecstatic actually. This talks on faith here. So anyways, we should have faith that the Lord is always protecting us, and we should ready to be in battle with whatever opposition comes, knowing that somehow or other the Lord will come through and help us. So Lord Varaha, he is very dear to us. He is, of course, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so we can pray to Lord Varaha that this earth is always protected, this bhumi that we specifically, we have acquired here in this, up here in Tennessee, can be protected by the Lord, that the Lord always protect us in whatever circumstances they are, and that this can prosper, and that we can establish the Vedic culture. Yagyavaraha, he is, like we were speaking, that he performs sacrifices, and that's what we want to do here. And that is the purpose of this farm, to perform yagya, for the purpose of satisfying Vishnu. So Yagyavaraha, we can pray to Yagyavaraha also, that we can go on with our sacrifice of our Sankirtan Yagya, and to glorify the Lord, to establish Varnashram, to distribute many books, to have hours and hours of chanting of the holy name of the Lord going on in this place, to sanctify it, to purify it, to teach people the method by which to conquer this material energy, to cross over this material energy. So we can pray to Lord Varaha like this. This is today's divine appearance, and is very ecstatic. He's a pig, you could say, not from the way when we think of pigs in the material sense, pretty disgusting beings that just roll around in stool all day. But Lord Varaha is the transcendental boar. He is not in the conception that the materialists put him in, or what we see in this material world. And there's a nice lecture called "We're All Sons of a Transcendental Pig." We're all sons of a pig. And so we're all sons of a transcendental pig. And so we can hope that Lord Varaha can come and enjoy his pastimes here on in this land here, and enjoy earth, enjoy Mother Bhumi, That is the purpose of this place. And we hope that we're also praying that and know that we can facilitate the pastimes of Krishna here, of Shri Radha and Krishna, Lord Balaram and Krishna Balaram, all the cowherd boys, Mother Yashoda, they're all, and this is their place. We're simply their servants and trying to serve in the mood in whichever mood it may be in. We're trying to find that and have that revealed to us in which we can serve the Lord in our original state. Nitya Krishna, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema, Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi, Suddha Chitte Kara Viday. That it is already there, that it is just to be awakened. Our natural constitutional position towards loving the Lord, serving the Lord is already there. But it requires us to just hear and awaken that. So we can awaken our love for Krishna, our love for Lord Varaha, the divine appearance of Lord Varaha today. So I'll end my class there. If there's any comments or questions, please feel free to speak.
Yeah, Prabhu. We were early in the class. You were bringing up this point of how the Supreme Lord is beyond our capacity to conceive of, beyond our intelligence, everything. And like most religions like accept that, but it seems like they accept that like so literally to the point to where it's like you can't even like put a pin. You can't even understand. He has no name. He has no pastimes. He has no form. Because they say, well, if he's beyond our conception, then how can you even see him? But could you explain how that still fits, him having a form fits in with the idea of him being inconceivable?
Yeah. The problem is that within other religions and with other people is there's a nice lecture by Bhakti Vikas Maharaj on one of the Vishnu Sahasranams, and I forget the Sanskrit name, but the name is a person. That's just that's the direct translation of that name is a person, that he's a person. Well, and he was saying, well, he's not just any person, but he's a person that is, is transcendental person. He's not of mature qualities. So first problem within religions is that they first of all have no idea of what is transcendental, what is material, what is spiritual. And they don't have proper knowledge of these things. So when there is no knowledge of those things, they cannot understand anything. Actually, they're lost. And Krishna says that is what Krishna defines that as being knowledge. So if you don't have that knowledge, basic knowledge, then how can you understand anything else? So the knowledge is defined as understanding what is matter and what is spirit, and who is the controller of these both. So if one doesn't have that basic knowledge, then there's no question of understanding the Achintya Shakti of how the Lord can take upon different forms, how the Lord is keeping this whole universe in proper function. Well, they have some conception like that. Christians, they say, oh, the Lord is, but they have no idea that at the same time, just like Christians and the Muslims, they don't have an idea that how the Lord's forms, there's varieties of Lord's forms. And how, even though there's one God, yes, there is one God, but he has many different forms. Many, many forms. And actually, Bhagavatam says unlimited amount of forms, actually. And so, there for them, that's inconceivable because they're moga asha, moga karma, their moga jnana, vichetasa, they're just overcome by illusion. They're bewildered. They don't have purified intelligence to understand. They don't have the Vedas. So then you cannot understand, actually. You require Vedas to understand. Why? Because Krishna says, I am the compiler of that Veda. Vedanta Vid, Vedakrit, Ved, Eva Chaham, that I am the compiler and I'm the goal of the Veda. So how can one understand without first coming to hear from Vedas? Therefore, it's very important. Therefore, so much knowledge is there in the Vedas, whereas all of these other things is just nonsense, actually. Something is there, sure, but actually in terms of transcendental science, there's nothing there. There's no science. It's just faith. I believe, you believe, that's all. It's nonsense, actually. This is not knowledge. This is not a science. So first they have to make sure they understand this. Without that, they can't understand how the Lord is situated and how the Lord can take so many forms. Dipaje eva hi dashantaram abhipetya. What's the rest of that verse? In Brahma Samhita, we see that the Lord, we see Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha. He's obviously the original Adi Purusha. But all the other incarnations of the Lord are like they're being lit by that same candle. So same potency. But it's the original personality Godhead is always there. So the Supreme Personality Godhead has many varieties of forms. Why? Then they say, somebody may ask why also. If they can just accept that, they say why? Why? Because he wants to enjoy. That's all. He likes to enjoy. He likes to come as a boar and fight. He doesn't have to, but he likes to. So then why does he like to? That's not for you. That's not for me to say. That's not for you to say. The Lord can like what he wants to like. Just like who am I to say what you like and what you don't like? That's according to your own personal preference. So the Lord has his own personal preference and he's powerful. We can't take upon another form to enjoy. Just like even if you see that even within materialistic people, that they desire to be some sort of animal sometimes. It's like, yeah, I want to be a lion. Yeah, I want to be a bird. Nonsense. But they can't do it. But the Lord, he wants to desire to be a fish. Yeah. Matsya, it takes upon the form of a fish. He wants to be a turtle. A turtle sometimes, and he takes the form of a turtle. And he performs his beautiful pastimes in order to enhance his own pleasure, but also to reciprocate with the devotees in uncommon ways. It's very in rasas. And to glorify himself. We see the demigods glorify the Lord. How wonderful, how beautiful the Lord Varaha looked when you're smacking and there's perspiration upon his body. How beautiful he looked. How beautiful Lord Nrsingadev looked, putting the garland of intestines on his neck. Now, you tell that to someone that's outside of the Krishna consciousness movement, that is a demon. You look at here. You look at Nrsingadev and you're like, what is going on? Is it a demon or is it it's like snakes behind him. He's got a fierce, he's got garlands, and he's killing some normal human-looking person. Looks like, why is he doing that?
Yeah.
Little boy, and then you explain it to them. It's actually that boy's father. It's like, what the heck is going on? So one cannot understand it unless one has the eyes to see it. Therefore, umajnana timirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurunmiltamena tasmai shigrive namaha. That the Guru has to give you the vision. One has to hear how. Tat Shrinu, as we were hearing from Mahodsa Prabhu, that touch you have to hear. Krishna says that a few times in the Bhagavad Gita. Just listen. So it's not ordinary. One cannot understand this just by his mere intelligence. Even somebody who was to study it, they cannot understand it. Mukunda Datta Prabhu was saying that in his lecture, that we wouldn't be able to understand anything, but it's simply by the mercy of the Guru that we have been given the vision by which we can accept such things. Coming in, Mukunda Datta Prabhu was also saying this verse in which we say that all the for one who performs devotional service, all the qualities of the demigods are present in them. But for one who doesn't perform devotional service, then he has no good qualities. Harava bhaktasya, what is it? Mahan Gunan. So for the devotees, they're full of all good qualities. But for the demons, there's no good qualities. How can you understand this? Materialist, I wouldn't. It's like, oh, that seems harsh. That just seems dogmatic. But Mukunda Datta Prabhu gave a very nice explanation. I haven't heard this one before. And he said, The pure devotees' qualities, they're eternal. They're never going to go away. But the materialist qualities, they're temporary. Because why? Because it's just karma. It's just a manifestation. It's this aparabdha karma, that it's just manifestation of his past karma, but then it's going to go and sometime you will lose it. But the pure devotees' qualities, it may be good for some time, but it's no longer good in the course of time. But the pure devotees' qualities, those are eternal qualities. Those are transcendental qualities. So there's never bad quality. It's not something temporary. Whereas these materialists who don't worship Krishna, there's only temporary. So actually they have no good quality. It is not a good quality because it's a temporary thing, even though it's seemingly good. So one requires to approach it with humility, with proper understanding. How does that verse start? Where one should approach a spiritual master. How does that start? And so it's not possible. It's not possible by one's own endeavor, by one's own intelligence. It's only possible when this spiritual master gives us the mercy by which our intelligence becomes purified as we chant every morning. By the words of our spiritual master, we become purified. So therefore we have to hear, and we have to hear with attention. We have to read with attention. That advice by Mukunda Datta Prabhu is, that will take us back to Godhead right there. Just sit, be calm, don't be in the mode of passion, try to finish the book. Just read slowly, read out loud to yourself, and pause and think about what's going on. And think about what Prabhupada is saying, is that you don't want to miss. There's so much, don't miss it. So that's something there.
Prabhu, where are these lectures? Where are you hearing these lectures?
I'll forward them. They're all on ISKCON Salem's YouTube channel.
Okay, yeah, if you could send them, that'd be really nice.
I'll try to send them also.
Thank you.
They're very, anytime I listen to his classes, it's just he has this, my God, unlimited amounts of realization and scholarly and everything. It's just so amazing. He's got, okay, so I'll forward that's the one that I was listening to. I'll forward that one, and then I'll try to forward other ones also.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, is there anything else? Okay. All right. The divine appearance of Lord Varaha Dev ki jai.
Jai.
Okay. Anshakapadra Vishya Kripa Sindhu.